Hello, welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochran. We've got another brilliant show for you today, packed full of down-to-earth gardening advice. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Nev's got a great DIY project that'll keep your house cool this summer. Bonnie shares some of her favourite flowering spring bulbs. And I'll show off a spectacular Australian first, a beautiful new release plant.
Digging around. Dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
Well, summer's finally here, and after mild spring conditions, it's time to get those plants into the ground that love the heat. So, start planting things like tomatoes, you've got zucchinis, you've also got cucumbers, and also those very fiery things like capsicums, most importantly, the chillies, you're going to need those. And eggplants, they all love hot conditions, but they'll only grow really well if you support them with the right nutrients. The first thing anyone starting out needs to do is to prep the soil. Make sure it holds moisture and it's been boosted with the energy that these young plants will need. I know we promote feeding strongly, but seriously, you have to support the plant's growth. And if you do, your crops will be amazing. Now, if you don't give them the food, they'll grow lackluster and be susceptible to disease. Remember, plants are like us. They need a little feed every day to be happy. But not all foods are the same. We do rant a little, but getting the right fertiliser is really important, and even more so for these plants. This is a great way to do it. First up, when planting out, turn the planting soil over, aerate it, and then get this into it. It's Power Feed Controlled Release for tomatoes and veggies. It's going to boost the soil nutrition immediately, and then slowly release nutrients to the roots, and they quickly spread through the soil. Now, once your plants have started to take off and grow, the most important thing to do is to support that strong growth. That's all energy, and the only way to do it is to use a liquid fertiliser when it comes to these fast-growing plants. And this is a liquid fertiliser you want to get your hands on. This Power Feed is designed specifically for the needs of tomatoes and veggies as well. And what you do is you get it in there, you mix it around, it's got all the essential nutrients, plus the big three, and once you water it over the foliage and around the base, they go ballistic. And that's what it's all about. This feeding regime is a difference between amazing plants and lush, healthy gardens and disappointment. And the combination approach will see incredible results. There is one important thing to note. While some fertilisers can be harsh on the soil's health, burning microbes out and leaving the soil lifeless, and sometimes the plants lackluster at best, this is often what causes huge populations of pests to appear. Now, the natural ingredient base to this means that you're not just feeding the plant, you're actually feeding the soil, conditioning it, and that's the magic of this beautiful Power Feed Pro series. It really does improve the soil so your plants perform so much better. And why wouldn't you be doing it this weekend?
If you've got a few native plants that are looking a little unruly, well, you can prune most native plants. In fact, up to a third is ideal. And the best time to prune them, well, after they've finished flowering, immediately after they've finished flowering, because this is when they're in their active growth phase.
It's no secret that I adore spring in the garden because there's always something new coming into flower. And even though we're going into summer, this doesn't mean that we have to stop thinking about our spring displays. Now is the perfect time to begin planning for next year's spring flowers. One of the best bulbs and a favourite of mine is the tulip. They come in all sorts of colours, ranging from single coloured varieties to fancy multicoloured forms and even double blooms. Tulips are quite easy to grow and they do not require as much work as one might think. Most will grow happily in pots and in the garden in all-day sun without the need for lifting. However, if you do find yourself in a warmer climate where your winters are quite mild, chilling your bulbs each year is a great option, as this will help guarantee better quality flowers. You may notice that I have a pen and paper in hand, and this is because I want to start planning for how many bulbs I want to pre-order for this garden. And we call this the silver birch forest, and underneath the trees you can see that I've planted some Dutch iris, which are beginning to take off. But in the spring, this area really lacks colour. So to fix this, I'm going to plant a whole variety of different tulips. To fill this space, I'll be looking at planting between 100 to 150 bulbs. This may sound like a lot, but when it comes to planting tulips in the garden, they can be planted very close, especially if you're wanting to create an impactful and instant display.
Something wonderful is starting to happen just outside your house's door. The days are getting longer, the temperatures are warming, and plants are starting to grow. In fact, they'll start growing rapidly as the perfect spring weather conditions kick in. And that's good and bad. Good for the plants that you want happy, bad for you if there's a lot that you don't want growing in your garden, because they have the potential to take over. And now's the time to do something about it. It's time to hit the garden shed and pull out the grass trimmer and get your garden into shape. If your old grass trimmer's been sitting in the shed through the winter months, it's probably going to need a bit of maintenance to get it back on track and functioning. Now might be a good time to upgrade, and if you're going to upgrade, well, I've been raving about this new battery technology that's changed everything for home gardeners. The good news is you can get it with grass trimmers too. The latest grass trimmer to join Still's impressive lineup of battery-powered garden tools is this one, the FSA 57. This has to be one of the lightest and most well-balanced trimmers I've ever used. And there's no dragging cables behind you or having to put oil or fuel into the engine to power it. It's simply a case of just popping the battery into the slot and getting on with the job. It's got some carefully considered features that some other brands haven't even thought of, like the adjustable shaft length, which means you can set it to suit your height for comfortable operation. And this wire spacer guard is perfectly designed to meet the same length as the line, meaning you can trim right up to and around your fences, trees, and play equipment without leaving any damage behind. One of the biggest pain points for people using these is when the line runs out off the head. And this can be a real difficulty when it comes to rethreading line through with grass trimmers, but not with the FSA 57. They've solved that. The mowing head simply needs a tap on the ground when the head is in full revs, and new line will automatically adjust to the correct length. Once the line has run out, it can be refilled without opening the housing. Simply feed through a length of line, turn the knob until it's wound in, and then snip, and you're ready to go. Now, I hear you ask the big question, how far will the FSA 57 go when it comes to looking after the edges in your garden? Well, if you've got the largest battery, this grass trimmer will cover the grand distance of 1.5 kilometres of edges. That is a lot of edges. I think I need a bigger garden. So if you're in the market for a new grass trimmer this spring, then I'd suggest it's time to get up to speed with the world's leading technology in garden care and visit your local Still dealer, the only place to buy Still tools. They'll show you all the features and provide a level of after-sales support and care you just won't find anywhere else.
Have you noticed unusual growths like this in your garden? Well, it's called Orobanche or broom rape, and it's a sign of poor quality soil. What can we do about it? Add some sheep manure or organic matter around the plant's roots, and also aerate the soil because it's a sign of compacted soil.
Over the past few months, our gardening club, the Garden Gurus Live, has had huge success offering the latest way to get all your gardening questions answered live.
Terry's got a problem that I actually experienced myself in my own garden. Now, it's a white wisteria. She planted it 4 to 5 years ago, still hasn't produced any flowers.
Each week, we'll share seasonal gardening advice from special guests across the world.
Carla in New South Wales, why haven't my orange and mandarin trees fruited for 3 years? They're regularly fertilised and watered throughout the year, and this is actually probably the problem, is that you're feeding too much.
To join the chat, all you need to do is like our Facebook page and tune in every week.
When plants are in grow mode, it's important to supply them with food. Now, in the past, we automatically thought fertiliser, but today we're looking at these practices in a new light. Now we want to work with nature and avoid using strong synthetic, high nitrogen, highly soluble fertilisers, and instead go across to what I call hybrids. So these have an organic base, they're bolstered with minerals, and they also contain soil-living organisms. Treforte M. granula, all-purpose, including natives, is a great example. It contains up to 60 minerals and 24 species of beneficial microbes, bacteria and fungi, specially chosen to ensure better colour, flowering and fruiting in your plants. This can be applied every 6 months to fruit trees, vegetables, flowers, shrubs and even sensitive Australian natives. This really hits top gear when combined with a brand new release called Treforte Liquid All-Purpose Plant Food. Unlike most solubles, this one lasts for up to 3 months. Apply to the leaves and soil around the base of the plant. This triggers the plant to produce more carbon-rich organic food using energy from sunlight in the form of sugars, which the plant transports to its root zone. These sugars are a vital food source for the microbes in the soil, the microbes provided by Treforte granular fertiliser. And these in turn exchange vital nutrients for these sugars, therefore ensuring that the plant can take up an optimum amount of balanced nutrients. Treforte Liquid All-Purpose becomes rain-fast just 2 hours after it's applied. Now it forms an almost invisible gel which retains nutrients in the soil for up to 3 months. And it's highly concentrated, so this bottle will make up 720 litres of great plant tucker for your garden.
Now, there's nothing better than growing your own at home, knowing what goes into the food you're producing, enjoying it yourself. I've got to tell you, it's the best way to look after yourself and your family. And if you've seen Nige Ruck recently, you'll see a massive transformation. The guy is looking hot.
Oh, yes.
And if you're wondering what the secret to it is, well, I can tell you it's all coming out in his Reveal All book, which will be released very soon. But I might share one of the secrets, and it's this plant here, kale. Kale is a massively rich source of antioxidants. In fact, I'm led to believe it's the richest source of antioxidants that you can get from any plant. And there's all the vitamins and minerals in this plant too. And here's the crazy thing, it's simple to grow and it lasts a long time. There's a few different types. I grow the green curly leaf form, which is great in stir fries or turned into kale chips. The Tuscan, which is brilliant in salads or stir fries. And then this, which is highly ornamental too. In other words, it looks as good as it is for you. It's scarlet and mass planted, it makes the most beautiful display. But in salads, soups and stir fries, it's delish and incredibly good for you. And if you're wondering where you're going to get these fantastic plants, well, you'll find them down at your local Bunnings Garden Centre or your local independent garden centre. They all stock these gorgeous plants from Swan Valley Nursery. Look at them. Now imagine this, you're planting them out in the garden. They need to be about 30 to 40 centimetres apart and they will keep growing for up to 2 years. And the trick with harvesting is to take those outside leaves on a regular basis. Let the heads keep growing. When they get too tall, cut the heads off and they'll just produce side shoots and you'll get even more of this amazing produce. It's so good for you and now's the time to get it into the garden.
One of my favourite things about gardening is the discoveries that you have, and there's something quite special behind me that I wanted to share with you. And you might notice a big collection of blue string now. This is a beautiful bowerbird, and what he does, he goes around and finds anything blue in your garden and he piles it next to his beautiful bowerbird nest. And in here you'll see that he's also decorated it with some daisies. And it's just a beautiful thing to find in the garden.
Climbing plants are real workhorses in the garden. They can be used for greening up a wall, covering a pergola, or as a sight screen like this one. When it comes to their footprint, they don't need a lot of land. However, they can spread out to cover many metres of a fence, just as this beautiful crepuscule rose is doing right here. The essential requirement is support. This gives you a unique ability to direct growth to where you want it. This is a really hot wall in summer. It faces west and cops all the afternoon sun. And just around the corner is this climbing plant. called Madagascan jasmine or stephanotis. While the foliage is lovely, the flowers are sparkling white and full of exquisite perfume. My mum used these for flowers for wedding bouquets in her floristry days, and they were terrifically popular. I've devised a plan to train this climbing plant to come around the corner and fill in and cover this hot exposed wall. These lightweight 3D modular grip and grow trellis panels from Whites will give you the support needed. Their architecturally inspired design allows the climber's tendrils to twist and turn and quickly colonise the space. And they're made from durable powder-coated steel. You don't have to be excessively handy to mount them on a wall, which is a good thing for me. Drill holes and use raw plugs to connect the clips which hold the panels, and before you know it, it's job done. Next, thread a few tendrils into the new mesh home. So there you go. I reckon in 12 months' time, this plant will have completely covered the frame and it'll be coming into flower and making a great show. I found another spot in the garden that needs some climbing support. It's for my new favourite vegetable, the Malabar spinach. So I'm going to attach this grip and grow 3D frame to this pole with a couple of screws, and that'll do the perfect job. Not only will this give the plant a frame to grow through, it'll be a sight screen to the utility area behind. So if you need any climbing support structures around your garden, take a look at this Grip and Grow 3D garden trellis system. You can pick it up at your local Bunnings warehouse.
It's not every day I get to show you a brand new plant release that's not only an Australian first release, but it epitomises the ultimate goal of most plant breeders around the world. You see, they're all looking for something incredibly distinctive, black flowers or black foliage. And not only have they achieved that with this, they've achieved it with one of the toughest, almost impossible to kill plants you could ever have indoors. It's called Zamioculus zamifolia, and you would have seen it in garden centres being sold as a ZZ plant. Its ability to grow well indoors in the worst possible light and environment is world famous. It's often described as indestructible for a good reason. The green version of this plant is just one plant you'll struggle to kill. But this striking black foliage plant is absolutely unique. Now, it does have those strength characteristics or traits of its parents. It's so tough indoors, but get a load of the foliage. Lovely glossy foliages like this all year round, and every time a new leaf emerges, it is this lovely light emerald green. And once that leaf has reached full size, around the outside edges, it starts to turn black, and the blackness comes all the way back down. This is very special. For best growth results, pop it in a beautiful pot like this. Have it indoors in filtered light. Make sure it's grown in a professional, well-drained potting mixture. And that's it. Just 2 glasses of water a week in a 17cm pot is all this plant is going to need. Eventually, this plant's going to grow to about 60 centimetres tall. It's about twice as big as it already is, and 60 centimetres wide. What an amazing feature plant. And if you're wondering how you're going to get your hands on it, well, it's been introduced to Australia by Banara Nurseries. They're one of Australia, if not the Southern Hemisphere's biggest plant growers, and they will be supplying garden centres all over the country. If you can't get it now, make sure you ask your garden centre to get it in. Zamioculus Raven. It's a beauty. Well, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. The good news is we're back next week and we've got lots of garden inspiration, terrific edibles and so many good hints and tips. It's all about making gardening easy. I'm Trevor Cochran. I'll see you with all the gang next week for the Garden Gurus. Yum.